Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this instructional video for how to use Google Sheets. The first video will walk you through how to open a Google Sheet and some of the basic functions for entering information into a Google Sheet. To open a new Google Sheet, the first thing you need to do is go to your Google Drive. If you do not remember how to get to your Google Drive, you can simply type drive.google.com into your browser and your drive will come up. Once you are in your drive, you will click on the big New button in the top left-hand corner of your page. You will go down to where it says Sheets, and you will click on Blank Spreadsheet. This will open a new spreadsheet in a new window. Once our new spreadsheet opens, the first thing we are going to want to do is name our spreadsheet. In order to do this, you just click the mouse where it says Untitled Spreadsheet and type in what you would like to name it. I am going to call this spreadsheet Demo Spreadsheet. Now this spreadsheet will save in my drive and I can revisit my progress whenever I need to. Google Sheets is just like Microsoft Excel. We can input data, make a list, organize the data alphabetically, numerically, etc. In the next video, we will talk about inputting data and some of the functions that Google Sheets will allow us to do once we have the information in the document. Please check out video number 2 to see what we can do with a sheet that has data in it. Hello, and thank you for taking the time to watch this instructional video for how to use Google Sheets. Video number 2 will go through what you can do with a Google Sheet that already has data loaded onto it. I'm going to show you some of the most useful features that can be used in Google Sheets using a file that I used to order t-shirts for my St. Anthony's volleyball team. As you can see in this file, the names of the players are running vertically along the left side of my sheet. I titled the boxes going across the top sizes because I was tracking the number of each shirts each player needed. The first feature that I want to show you is the ability for Google Sheets to add a section of rows. For this particular project, this will allow me to get a total number of shirts each player wants, as well as the total number of shirts needed in each size without me having to count each row and column. The first thing I need to do is make sure I have highlighted the box that I want my sum to appear in. Then, at the top of the page, I need to click Insert, scroll down to where it says Function, and then click on the word Sum. When the word Sum appears in the box that I am working in, I now want to highlight all of the boxes that I want the system to add together. So I hold down the Shift key and click the right key until I have highlighted all of the boxes that I want to add. Then I click Enter on my keyboard and the sum of the items is placed in the box. Now the real exciting part comes. Rather than having to repeat this step for each column, I can simply grab the blue box by the bottom right-hand corner of the box and drag it down the column to copy that sum function all the way through. If I want to get a total for each individual size, I can click down below each size and insert another sum function like so. I will put the word total below the names so I know where I want it to go. I can create my function and then drag it all the way across to get a total for each shirt size. Now, if I want to keep track of who paid and who didn't, I can change the colors of the items in each box. To do this, I click on the individual box, go up to the text color icon, the one that looks like a capital A, select the color that I want to change it to. If you are trying to organize data, Google Sheets is very helpful because it will save you a lot of work with the ability to drag functions to multiple lines of information. What I will be showing you in the next video is how Google Sheets can organize the data drawn directly from a Google form that you may have created for a quiz or test in your class. Be sure to check that out. Thank you for taking the time to watch this instructional video on how to use Google Sheets in your classroom. This video may be the most relevant of the videos because this will show you how to connect the assessments you made in Google Forms and retrieve the data as a Google Sheets file. Piggybacking off the last professional development session on Google Forms, if I open a Google form that I used for my AP Calculus students last year, and I click on the word Responses at the top of the page, I can see the grades that each student received in the order at which the students submitted their forms. This is helpful, but Google Sheets will allow me to organize and study the data a little more clearly. First, I'm going to click what looks like a green Christmas present near the top of the screen. If you have already created a spreadsheet, like I have, it will take you directly to the data in the Google Sheet. If you have not already created the spreadsheet, simply click Create New Spreadsheet when the box comes up to prompt you to do so, and it will do it for you. Now my data is displayed out, and everything that I have asked the students for in their form is on full display in the Google Sheet. I can see each and every answer to the multiple choice questions. Since I asked the students to submit a picture of their work along with their assignment to try to prevent cheating, I can scroll all the way to the right and click on that link, and a picture of their work will appear. The best part of what I can do with this data is I can organize it in a way that will allow me to put these grades into my gradebook. These scores are currently in the order in which students submitted their forms. If I want to put it into alphabetical order, I can click on the column E above last name, then click on Sort A through Z. This will put my data in order from A to Z by last name. The best part about this is that it moves all of the data to stay with the correct student. If I want to find the average score on this assessment, I click on the box below the test scores, go to Insert, Function, and Average. We practiced this process in video 2 with the sum. I go to the top of the score column, hold down the Shift key, and scroll down the column until I get to the last score. When I hit Enter, the average will appear. This makes data analysis as well as data organization a breeze. Please check out the next video on some advanced tips for Google Sheets. Thank you for taking the time to watch this instructional video on how to use Google Sheets. This video will go over some of the more advanced, but still simple, things Google Sheets can do that may allow you to keep information organized as you share it with other people. Here you will see that I have a Google Sheet that I have shared with all the members of my department. There is going to be a lot of information on this document, but I still want it to be easily accessible and organized so that I do not have to send out 6 different files. The tab option down at the bottom of the page allows me to put multiple sheets in the same document. As you can see, this particular document already has 4 tabs that allows me to have a lot of information, all related to this concept, in one place. In order to create a new tab, you just have to click the plus sign in the bottom left part of your screen. Once the new sheet is created, I can change the name of that tab by clicking on the arrow just to the right of the sheet name. I can also copy a previously created tab by clicking on the arrow to the right of that tab name and then clicking Duplicate. This can be a useful tool if you have already set up a sheet with titles and/or math functions already installed and you simply want to change the data inside the chart. Another slightly advanced tip is the ability to do the same thing to an entire row and column. If I click on the 2 to the left of row 2, it highlights the entire row. Now, any alteration that I make to that row will get copied to every piece of data in that row. This is helpful if we want to, for example, bold everything in the row in order to make it the titles of each row. This can also be done for columns by clicking on the letter at the top of the Google Sheet. Feel free to play around in Google Sheets to see how you can use it to help with your specific educational needs. If you have any questions, please feel free to stop by and see me in the math office at any time. Thank you for taking the time to view this video on how to use Google Drives. In this session, we are going to talk about how to share a Google Sheet with other people and how to make a copy of a sheet that was shared with you so you don't override their data. First, let's talk about sharing a Google Sheet. For any Google document, we share the same way, by clicking on the green Share button in the top right corner of the document. From here, we can type in the name of anyone in the StAnthonys.org network of email addresses. The most important thing about sharing a document is making sure you give people the correct permissions. If we are sharing this document with someone we want to collaborate with, we would want to share it with editing access. We click on the pencil to the right of the email addresses and make sure Can Edit is checked. If we are sharing this with students, or we want this information to be read only but not edited, we would want to check off the View Only box. This will prevent anyone from making an edit to your work and potentially messing it up. If a document is shared with editing options and that person makes an adjustment, like putting it in alphabetical order, this adjustment will be seen by anyone who is sharing the document, including the original creator of the Google Sheet. This leads directly to the second part of this video. If someone has shared a document with you, and you want to reorganize the data in a way that makes sense to you, or perform some other function on the information without messing up the original work, you can do that by making a copy of the Google Sheet. To do this, go to the top of the Google Sheets and click on File. Then click Make a Copy. This creates your own personal copy of that Google Sheet, which you can rename and will sit in your Google Drive. You are now the owner of this Google Sheet and can choose to share it or keep it for your own purposes. You can do whatever you want to this sheet, and it will not affect how the person who shared it with you or anyone else on the original document. It simply copies all of the information into a new Google Sheet, which will save to your drive and will be your own personal copy. I hope you have found this video to be helpful and will allow you to work collaboratively within your departments or school community very easily.